Does it change? Hey, what's up everyone? In this episode of Does It Change, we have a rear wheel of Honda Africa Twin, spoked rim, tube inside, and we're gonna find out if the street bike tire changer is any good for this combination. Normally, when changing an air tube, I would simply dismount one side of the tire, replace the tube, and mount the tire. But just to find out how easy it is, or how difficult it is, to use the street bike tire changer for this kind of setup, we're gonna go through the whole process, get the tire off, and then back. The rear axle of the bike is 20 millimeters, which means that there is no need to use the spacer for this particular wheel. It sits right nicely, tight on the spindle. And first thing, we're gonna break the bead. So on this side, since the tube is pinched, the bead is already off from the rim. Just pushing it off all the way around. I will do the same thing from the other side. Make sure the wheel supports are under the rim nicely. Just the bead breaker a little bit. It's coming off pretty easily. Usually tires with tubes are easier to push off. Okay, one more time. Okay, now the bead is pushed off all the way around. I will take the duck head with the ratchet system, mount it here at 12 o'clock, but then I will just do a 180 rotation because it's easier to start if the duck head is in the bottom, because at the same time I can just push the bead to the drop center, making pulling the tire lever much easier. But before you do that, you need to lock the wheel rotation. And for that, you should use the strap and choose the spoke that points, that is on the lower side of the rim and points to the direction of the strap. Put it around the spoke and bring it back from the back side of the tire. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to dismount the tire. Okay, so the strap should be right at the spoke nipple, so it would have less force. Bring the duck head to 6 o'clock, and I will use the bead breaker again just to get the tire to the drop center, and this will make it easier to pull the tire iron. Okay, now there's a special hook here. Lock the tire lever behind the hook. Bring the ratchet system in front of you. There is no need to start inserting from here. Always stand here behind the tire changer and start ratcheting. Now the next step with an air tube would be to push the valves valve stem inside the rim, so when you dismount the second bead, it would not snap off. So make sure you can see the valve here. And what I'm going to do now is get the tire iron under the second bead. Make sure the second bead here is in the drop center, and repeat the process. I would say the dismounting part was really easy, just maybe the first couple of inches to get the duck head moving. What you can do also is add some grease on the duck head on the tire. That will make it a little bit slippier and the process easier. Alright, time for mounting. I have already replaced the tube. I have some little bit of pressure inside the tube, so it holds the form, but not too much, so it would make it hard for mounting. I also have already lubed the tire bead. With the tube, I prefer starting by getting the valve through the valve hole in the rim. Keep the duck head at 12 o'clock. Push the valve out a little bit and get it through the hole. And then put the nut so it wouldn't go back inside. Next step, when mounting, the tire should always be diagonally over the duck head, so the head of the duck is visible, but the tail of the duck is under the tire. Mount as much as you can, push it on, bring the ratchet in front of you, okay, the first bead is on. I will bring it back to 12 o'clock. Now I will add a little bit of bead grease because it seems that it has dried off a little bit. A little bit on the duck head as well. Okay. And now, again, the tire should be on the duck head diagonally, like this, so the head is visible, tail is under the tire. Once you get there, make sure the tire sits in the drop center. I might have put a little bit of too much pressure inside the tube, so I will just use a drop center tool here to finish the job. There you go. Pushing the tire over the tail of the duck and mounted. So, does it change an adventure bike rear tire with spoked rim and air tube? Yes, it does.